Okay, kiddies. The subject of today is views. This is derived from a comment made by Mandy when she was asking me, if I can give tips on how to get more views out of your video. And the honest answer is, I don't know myself. All I can pass on is what I do know is keywords. The hashtags work well as well, and then it's your subject matter too. Part of the reason I chose theme parks and doing Knott's Berry Farm is because, well, when people want to look up something, they type in Knott's Berry Farm, and sometimes my video would show up. One of the things I did learn early on was I did a video. This was during the pandemic when people were trying to, open up things. One of the things that did open up was the LA County Fair, but they call it the bite-sized fair. So I went on opening day, filmed it, rushed home, spent all night editing it, and then I released it the following morning. And I put in all the keywords, the bite-sized fair, LA County Fair, all that stuff. I wasn't using hashtags then. And it got a lot of views. It got, I think, up to 4,000 views. In the lifetime, though, it got about 5,000 views. But it got 4,000 views, during that year. And, I was like, yay, something went, quote unquote, I said viral. But, we were just trying to figure out, how did they get so many views? And a lot of it had to do with timing. I was at that time the only person to post something like that, so then everybody just gravitated to it. And then even, I think it's still there, if you looked up the bite-sized fair on Google, it'll show you the YouTube videos and you'll see my video there. I think it's still there, but it might not be. But, from what I know, to get more views is you have to have a subject that, is very familiar and people are interested in. That's why a lot of the people are doing how to succeed on YouTube. And, some of their facts is spot on and some of it isn't, and I've tried some of the things and it just doesn't work for me. So it's not for everybody, and they don't disclaim that. They say, if you try this will be how you can increase your views. But if I have a video that I just put together really quickly and, in my mind, it's probably one of the worst videos I produce, it winds up to be one of the best videos that people view. Sometimes I just don't know what the audience is looking for. I just kind of go with, what I like and how I am. And then you find out later, when they keep talking about the niche, you got to niche down. And, if you do gardening and, theme parks, or you do gear review or whatever, that's your niche. But then you start discovering, if you're kind of all over the place, the niche is the person in front of the camera. And perfect example is there was a YouTube channel called The Channel Makers where he would go in and analyze your different videos and all this other stuff. So that went on for about a year and a half. Everybody's were subscribing to the channel because it was good and stuff like that. And then you found out later that the face of that channel, wasn't alone. They had a crew and everything. So they were, they had someone come up with the idea, someone behind the camera, someone set up this and that. And we all thought it was just him doing it. And it was weird. It was just kind of everybody's like, well, you're quitting, and then, but the channel's still going on, but you're the face of that channel. How does that work? And it just seems so disingenuous that, he didn't mention that he had a crew that would help him set up everything. And that probably would have, gone well with the audience. But, once he did that, I kind of went, I don't want to watch you anymore, because I felt lied to. And so, but I mean, it didn't hurt his viewership when he started his own channel. And then Channel Makers, I think, was the only one that probably suffered because they lost the face of that channel. But as far as trying to get views on your own, it's more like you have to produce more videos and you have to have an interesting thumbnail. And I never really had an interesting thumbnail. And you just have to have your face as the marketing ploy to get out there, because I've done thumbnails where my face isn't on there and it doesn't do well. And then so I put my face on there, and then I discovered I'd get more views if I had a hat on. It's just different things that I tried. And I don't know, you guys are kind of picky. But I just kind of went with, how I got more views, and I kind of went with it. And then after a while, I just started losing myself. And it's just like, no, just put out a thumbnail to what feels right. I mean, like one of my better Knott's Berry Farm videos, which was the Boysenberry Festival, I took a picture of the banner that goes across Ghost Town that says the Boysenberry Festival, and all I did was I took away all the color except the purple. And so it was basically like a black and white photo with the Boysenberry Festival in purple, and everybody gravitated to it. I didn't have my face on it at all. Everybody gravitated to it, and I got a lot of views on there. And I was just like, okay. And so I tried to follow that, and then, people weren't gravitating to it for some reason when I did other thumbnails similar to that. And it's just like, so then once I put my face back on there, then you get the recognition, and then people go, okay, I know that guy, I'll watch his video because, I like what he does, stuff like that. So it just depends. A lot of it is like trial and error. But there was this other YouTube channel I want to talk about. It's not that it bothers me or anything. They could do whatever they want, but the channel is called, I think it's called Sandy Yaw, Y-A-W. And I decided to watch their channel. I started watching, I go, okay, it's all right. But then I'm noticing they're getting a lot of views, and I'm like, how are they doing that? So I subscribed, and I started studying her channel. And it was like a husband-wife duo, and they would do food reviews, and he would give his opinion of it, she would give hers. They weren't always the same, and I thought that was cool, but I didn't see anything special about it. And then the one thing that I didn't like was the way they edited the video. They took out all the spaces and like any of the pauses and stuff like that, and so it just looked like it was really choppy. I don't like watching videos like that. I like, where it's smooth. That's why, like, when I do my videos, I do it like if I have a super long pause, I'll edit it and I'll try to, match it up to where you don't see that like jerky motion. And usually the best thing to do is you do a transition to do that. But I don't have, something to cover up the area to make that smooth transition. I should start doing that. It'd probably be a good idea. But I will usually leave in mistakes. If they're not like grave mistakes where it just like, maybe I said an F-bomb or something like that, then I will take it out. But I mean, to edit out all the spaces like some of these YouTube help channels try to say, because you gotta pay attention to some of your audience's attention span. It's very short, so you need to take out all the spaces. I don't do that. I just like that smooth action video that happens where it's not all choppy, like you're out on the ocean and in the boat and your boat's going like that. That's how I feel that the video goes. But anyway, back to Sandy Yaw. I just kept like studying, like, I go, what's so special about her channel that she's getting a lot of subscribers and she's getting a lot of views? I mean, we're talking thousands of views, and I didn't see anything like special. I didn't see anything technical going on with how it was edited. It was just mind-boggling. I couldn't figure it out. How was she doing this? And then I always read the comments, and then I discovered one. Oh my God, Sean was right, you know, when he said go see, I love your channel. And then I go, well, who's Sean? So I looked up Sean, and he's like a big YouTuber, and he has, I'm probably wrong about this, but he has like over 4 million subscribers. And he's always recommend, oh, you need to go see this channel. You need to go, you know, watch this channel and stuff. And I'm just like this. So that's how it's done. You have a friend who has millions of subscribers, and he funnels his subscribers over to her channel, and she was getting like, you know, some of the, you know, subscribers from his channel and the views and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, Mandy, if you want views, that's how you do it. You know, a big YouTuber like Mr. Beast, and then have him recommend your channel and funnel all of his viewers over to you. You'll get the views. You know, it's kind of like the thing of who you know to get into some place, right? To get in the club. Hey, I know the owner. I can get into the club. We don't have to wait in line. It's something like that. And I just shook my head and just, you know, face plant. And I was like, well, that explains how she was getting the views and the subscribers and stuff. And I'm like, that just feels like cheating. I just don't feel like you did it on your own and grew your channel organically, and you developed your own friends, your own audience, your own viewers, and you guys create a relationship and stuff like that. And that, I feel, wasn't even done, you know? So I was just like, I just shook my head. It's whatever. So I believe I unsubscribed to the channel because they're not coming up on my feed. Don't get me wrong. It was an okay channel. There was nothing wrong with what she did. She did nothing wrong. It was just her friend helping her out, and she got all the views and subscribers. And I just, but in trying to get people to watch your videos, it's just hit something that's interesting. You know, if you want to do the theme parks, then go ahead and dive deep into one particular theme park. So me, it was with Knott's, because not that many people do Knott's videos, and me and my friends were kind of like the only you know, ones doing it. And you know, you would get some views because people were like, so what's going on with Knott's? I never knew about Boysenberry Festival or Peanut Celebration or Knott's Merry Farm or anything like that. And, you know, you guys are bringing it. And so you're actually, you know, creating the audience from there, and you're getting the views. Like if I went to Disneyland and did my film the same style as I did with Knott's Berry Farm, I'm not getting any of the views, because you've got your Disneyland viewers, they just want to stick with the OGs. You know, you got like the Fresh Baked, Ordinary Adventure, the Magic Journeys, you know, those type of people that people will watch, and they capture all the audience and stuff. You know, I'm just shocked that the Oogie Boogie Bash that I did, actually, I think I got up to 600 views on there. I was shocked. I thought it would stop at about maybe 200, because I'm not known in that community there. I'm pretty well hated over there, believe it or not. And it's just because, you know, some of the YouTubers, they just do kind of bad things, and I'm there with the big camera filming myself, and usually I'll get some hate. They said effing YouTuber or whatever. They just mumble under their breath, but I just let it slide unless they're going to get into my face. And luckily I have insurance on my camera, because it's usually not just one guy, it's a group of people that will come up to you, whatever. But anyway, this never really had an altercation. I just hear them grumble under their voice, or under their breath, and I just go whatever, and we just move on and stuff. Nothing's gotten into a fight or anything like that. But it's the views. Sometimes it depends on your subject matter, and how you present yourself, and a lot of it has to do with how well you hold yourself and talk to your audience. That has a lot to do with it too. And if you're well spoken, have everything like written out, scripted, edited correctly and stuff like that, you can get the audience and the views. Some of the bigger channels, like they keep the pacing going, they keep the excitement going with the video and stuff, and you're like, wow, man, these guys really did a good job. And then later you found out that they hired an editor, a professional editor, to do their videos, and then you get that squash feeling, like, can it be like you have a single creator that can go ahead and film, present themselves, do the teaching, do whatever they do, whatever their niche is on their video, edit it, publish it. I mean, that's a rare thing to get all the views. I mean, Mr. Beast, I don't even think he does his own videos. He's just in it, has the ideas, and he hires a crew to do his videos for him. I mean, he used to do his own, but that was a long time ago now. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I personally, I want to get involved in every little thing. And that's why some of these YouTubers that say that I'm retiring, I can't take this anymore. And it's just because they've lost control of their channel. And some of them really like just knuckle down and go, this isn't fun for me anymore. It's just like a job. I love doing this, I love doing that, but they gave it up because they didn't have time for it anymore. And it just became a job. It wasn't fun. But, now they're knuckling down. And what does this have to do with views? Basically, your audience can really like be demanding and drive you down. So if you build up your channel organically, go the slow route, then I think you can adjust and handle your own channel and just take control of the whole thing and make it fun and enjoyable. And then once your audience knows that you're having fun doing it, you'll get the views. You'll get your video shared. Hey, look at this. They'll share it and you'll get more views. But anyway, Mandy, good luck with with your channel and trying to get the views. But I would just use special keywords, like Knott's Berry Farm, the Boysenberry Festival, and don't get too lengthy with the title, because that'll hurt you too, because you can only see a part of it when you're looking at the thumbnails. Have an interesting thumbnail. That'll help. And then use hashtags. Every time I do shorts, I always go hashtag short, hashtag shorts, hashtag short videos, and that really takes off. And then sometimes too, it all depends on when you publish. Like I always thought if I published in the morning, I'm catching the morning audience, the audience for the lunchtime, and the audience for dinner. A lot of times, like if you publish your video just before people are getting home and having dinner, a lot of people like to watch you on TV, and because they don't like regular TV anymore, because regular TV sometimes sucks. But like shorts, if you publish at 9 o'clock, that thing will take off. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because people stay up late and they just go through shorts, but it just it just picks up from there. But if you miss that time point and do it afterwards, it doesn't do as well. So timing and when you put out your video also works. So the other thing too is if you're always publishing at a certain time and people are used to that, you need to stick with that, no matter if it helps your video or hurts it. It has to be at the same time. That's why I pick 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, because most of the people who are going to view my videos are usually the people that are around the theme parks that I go to. So it just makes sense to me and to do that. But I also found if I just put out a random video, sometimes it doesn't do well. Later on, it will do okay. But it's just, just having the keywords, having the hashtags, having the thumbnail that's interesting and the subject matter, and you're going to get the views. That's like the best advice I can give. How to go viral, I have no idea, but usually some of the shorts that go like wild, they kind of like, it always has to do with something where, what is it? It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. Those type of videos people really enjoy. Yeah, so that's why I did the dash cam shenanigans, because I happened to catch that on film, and where people were throwing Gatorade and water bottles across each other's car in different lanes, and they're doing stupid stuff. I put them on blast. I put them on a short, and I got like 10,000 views out of it. That was a subject that's people like to watch. So, it just all depends, but good luck with it. Just experiment a lot early on, and then you can just narrow down to what really works, and then just keep up with it, fine tune it and hone it until it just becomes second nature on what you do to get the views. But the daily vlogs right now, I'm just trying this out to be honest and sincere about what I talk about. Try to keep the subject matter clear, tell the story. A lot of it is telling the story. And if you're able to go into I don't want to say you want to get cinematic and then emotional, that's some other different genres, but just to sit and just talk to your audience. And actually, when you respond to your audience, that's when they keep coming back, because you're responding to them, and that's what they like. Anyway, guys, I've been kind of rambling on here, kind of losing track of the subject, but there's just a lot to, process to try to get views out of a video. And a lot of it, I find that, maybe it is just, keeping the subject straight and telling a really good and intriguing story. And then also, change your voice around a little bit, go a little high and a little low every once in a while, and you hold your interest. I found that out in a history class where the teacher would, get this excitement in his voice and then kind of pause and slow it down. And then he would just keep doing that. And I was never tired or sleepy in that class. It was just always interesting, and I learned something from that. And I also learned to just change your voice around and have the high pitch and low pitch, and do that. And also you kind of want to maintain that, so when you're actually talking to your viewers live at a theme park as you meet up, oh my god, I watch your videos, whatever, and you talk to them, and then you're acting the same way as you are in front of the camera, and that's what makes you real. Don't fake it. Don't be someone you're not. Just be yourself, and that's what people really enjoy. And that's probably what might get you the views, is the realism and the authenticity of your character is what matters to everybody. Not you play a part and you act like someone else, and then when they meet you, you're just a total asshole. That doesn't fly with everybody. You have to know people are going to meet you somewhere. They're gonna find you somewhere, recognize you somewhere. Don't be that asshole. Be the guy on the camera. Be the guy that has integrity and kindness, and be the person that you are. Don't be fake, because people can spot that a mile away. Trust me, they can spot it a mile away, and there's just no way that you can keep up with that persona if that's what you want to do. For me, I'm myself. I'm true to form. I'm the same way on camera as I am off the camera. If you meet me, if I don't hear you, I'm sorry. I could be in deep thought of what I'm trying to do for a shot, or what I need to get to complete the video. But don't be discouraged. I'm not going to bite you. You sort of have to get into my face, and even if you interrupt me while I'm filming, it doesn't matter. It's always a pleasure to meet you. It's always a pleasure to meet my audience, my viewers, my subscribers. Always a pleasure. You're not disturbing me. This isn't my job. This is something I do for fun, and if I happen to get paid, well, I just got to redo the scene. And sometimes when I redo a scene, it actually comes out better than the first time. So don't worry about interrupting me. Or sometimes I'll just wind up talking to you while I'm filming, and I include it on there. I'm just that crazy. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching my videos and taking the time to make a comment. And if you happen to have any suggestions like Mandy did, I'll be happy to address it, and kind of give you any tips and tricks that I might know that might help you, or might steer you in the correct direction. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, night, morning, afternoon, lunch, dinner, or even breakfast. So you guys have a good night and take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.